Howdy Howlers, it's Sako to me, also known as Cassvoy, and today I'm going to talk about basic story structure. Okay, I know this is some remedial stuff here, but there has been some talk going around where my dear community is somewhat ignorant of story structure. And I thought I would start at the very bottom and build our way up. So I'm going to start with the basic elements of a story. There are 5, and I hope that it will kind of like help you to the way of a basic structure. Even if you're a pantser, to have these 5 points in your book will ensure that you have a beginning, middle, and end. So first, you need an opener. This is usually a day in the life. It's usually high action. You start in the middle of the action, you leave in the middle of the action. It must carry stakes dire enough to justify an entire book about it. This is why they say like the first page or the first sentence is the most important, blah blah blah. It's not. I open the middle of the book and I want to see like the style of the prose and, you know, how developed are the characters and all of that jazz. So I'll read a page from the middle of the book. That's how I test stuff out. So you introduce your main character, establish the problem, challenge, quest, journey, dilemma, whatever, to an inciting incident that changes everything. It's one thing to render a character frustrated by the status quo or angry at some annoying opponent or, you know, bucking the system or whatever. But to get to the catalyst that forces him to act, the consequences for failing must be dire. Way more frustration or embarrassment. Think of the worst possible result and have your lead character spend the rest of the story battling to prevent it. Like, you know, the village burns down. 3, a series of crises that build tension. The trials that they go through. This is your act 2, basically. The trials that your character goes through in order to get to the climax. These should be logical and not the result of chance or coincidence, but they should grow progressively worse. In the process of trying to fix things, your protagonist will be building new muscles and gaining the skills that will serve him in the end. This is him getting his various stats that will help him defeat the big baddie at the end. And the trials always come in 3. You can have more than that if you want, but usually run-of-the-mill, it's 3. Number 4, a climax. There has to be a climax. Now, the climax is not the end. The climax is just before the end. Also, this would be the face-off with the heavy or the meta plot, and then right after that would be your end. So this would be the resolution that concludes your story. Your main character must either succeed or fail based on what he's learned up through the crises from before. So this is where you tie up the loose ends, and at the same time you make your reader want to read more, especially if you have a series. So to review, so first you got your opener, second you got your inciting incident, third you got your 3 crises, 3 trials, 4 you got your face-off, your climax, your dark night before the dawn, and then 5 is your wrap-up. That's your ending. Your trials is usually your second act. This is usually where people struggle the most. If you focus on the trials, if you focus on him getting buffer and stronger and wiser and all of those things, your second act shouldn't sag. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to see more story structures and more witchy stuff and all of those things, hit subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.